Do you have trouble creating a character? Or just new and don't know how? Stay tuned. I'll walk you through the 5 steps to creating a character. Welcome to D&D Talks, role-playing made easy. This series is going to be about creating your character and 5 easy steps. So let's get started. Today we're talking about how to create a D&D character in 5 easy steps. Stay tuned to the end for a bonus tip on adding some extra wow to your character. Step 1. Idea. This is probably the most important step of all. The idea. The first step is to find a character concept, something that excites you, something that you want to play. If you're not enthusiastic about it, then why would you play it? Don't think about the class or the race at this point. Just think about what you want to do. Think of the personality of your character. Do you want to play a charismatic princess who's out to prove to her father her worth? Or are you a Robin Hood out to protect the poor from the evil, tyrannical magistrate? Or maybe you're a town potion merchant who's tired of running their shop, and the excitement of the adventuring customers that come in has made you think that adventuring is now the life for you. Do you come from a long line of crafters who needs to go out into the world and make a big name for themselves in creating that next big thing that everybody's going to want to buy, and therefore continuing the legacy of your family name? You can get your ideas from various different sources. A character from a book, the hero of a movie, an image that inspired you, perhaps one of your favorite comic books, or other stories that you've heard. This step is finding something that really excites you, something that gets you going, the idea or a concept that makes you want to delve deeper into the character, what they're about, what their secrets are, who they might know or not know. So what sources do you use? Put a comment down below and let others know where you get your inspiration from. Maybe that'll help them. One trick I use is just to Google some images of fantasy and see what comes up. Does the imagery move me? Does it trigger something inside me that makes me want to tell a story? After all, D&D is a role-playing game and telling a story, right? What story do you want to tell with your character? Once you've found your idea, we can begin. Where does your character come from? Are they alone? Have they had some tragic event happen to them? Or are they just sitting at home, bored and safe, crave for adventure? These types of questions will give you a better idea of who your character is. What is their personality, how they might react in certain situations, later for role-playing. You don't need to write a background story right now. I'll put a link in the description below of another video that talks about that stuff in more detail. But for now, at least get a good idea of who and what your character is about. This will help you role-play later and decide the actions your characters would or would not take. The more you understand your character outside of class and race, the easier playing will become, and the rest of these steps will be. Now for that bonus tip. To help add wow to your character, think about giving them a character voice. Now if you're not good at giving accents, and there are other types of voicing you can do to make sure that your character has wow. You can raise the pitch of your voice, make it a little higher for maybe a female character, or a young child, or somebody who's maybe a little more timid. Or you could give it a lower voice, add a little gruff for a more masculine and gruff character. Slow down your cadence to give them the tone of perhaps a more thoughtful character, or a superior aristocratic nature. Maybe give them a stutter and it will add to your character. Or perhaps they have a catchphrase that eventually become one of their regular things. Instead of voicing, perhaps they have some sort of physical or facial attribute, such as a twitch in the eye when they lie, or you can sit low in the chair and they're short of stature, so when other people around the table view you, they think, oh yeah, that's right, his character's short. Or conversely, you could sit on some pillows and make yourself a little taller if your character is tall. These are some small visual things that you can do that the other players will pick up on and just make sure your character has a little bit more wow to them. Another thing you can do is find an image or a picture that represents your character. Showing that picture around the table to the other players will definitely let them have a good idea of how your character looks, rather than just describing what they look like or what they're wearing and then having them come up with their own imagination in their mind. Another good tip is you can always talk to your DM when you're creating your character. Perhaps find out more about the world that you're going to be playing in, and perhaps you'll have an idea of maybe a continent or a specific town that they're from. And this allows you to not only get a richer feel of your character in the world that you're about to play in, or the DM can also have a bit of your backstory added into the story while you're playing, and as you go along, maybe some things from your background show up and other players start to go, wow, this is really being involved. Your character's part of this story. There's something about you. So if this content was helpful and you want more, please subscribe and hit that like button. Also, if you have suggestions on where to get inspiration for characters and other ideas, put a comment down below. Thanks for listening. Don't forget to find that link below for step 2 in this process of creating your character.